Hi and welcome to In the Can. Today I'm going to be making a dark rye bread. So in the bowl I have a cup and a half of rye flour. And to that I'm going to be adding 3 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. Well, I thought that scoop would be better, but it actually isn't. I'm better off just sticking the measuring cup down the canister. To this I'm adding a packet of instant yeast, one teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon and a half of caraway seed. And caraway seed is one of the things that gives rye bread its distinctive flavor. Then to that I'm going to be adding a half a cup of cocoa powder. And cocoa powder is what gives dark rye its color. And it really does not affect the flavor of it at all. So I'm going to mix this all in. Oh, let's make this three-quarters of a cup of cocoa powder. Get a little more color in there. Doesn't look too bad. And now I'm going to add 2 cups of water. And now I've reached the point where I need to get my fingers in, my hands in there and manipulate this. I want to get all that flour into this dough and make sure it's all moistened. My dough is quite sticky. So now I'm going to cover it with a piece of plastic wrap. And let it set for 10 minutes before I come back and knead it. And I want to put a piece of towel, put a towel over top of it as well. And if you're using regular yeast, you want to use warm water. Put your yeast in the water and allow it to bloom. And then for 5 minutes. And then add that into your flour mixture instead of just adding the dry yeast to it. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. So I'm going to take my dough out, put it on a floured surface, add some flour to the top of it, and knead it. And when kneading it, you push down, you fold the dough over and you push down on it. And as the flour gets used up, I'm going to add more flour to my surface. Up until about the last 2 minutes of kneading. You want to knead this for about 10 minutes. In the last 2 minutes of kneading, you're going to knead all this flour that's already in the dough from the floured surface into the dough. My dough is shredding, so I'm not going to add any more flour until I have the flour that's in it combined into the dough. And instead of shredding, it just stretches. So I'll be back when I'm done kneading it. Okay, I'm back. I finished kneading my dough. Now I'm going to shape it into a loaf. Or you can drop this into a loaf pan if you want. But after I shape it into a loaf, I'm going to brush the bottom of it with some melted butter. Place it on my baking dish, pan, or baking sheet. Cover it with a piece of plastic wrap and with a towel. And I'm going to let it sit for an hour. And I'll be back when it's ready to bake. Okay, I'm back, and the bread has risen a bit. I've got the oven turned on to 375 and preheating. And now I'm going to brush the rest of the loaf with the melted butter. I always thought that melted butter, putting butter on something made it crisp up. But according to what I read, this is supposed to keep the moisture in and make the crust moist. So we're going to give this a try and hopefully it works. If not, I'm going to post this video just to dispel the claim that melted butter makes the crust moist. I'm going to give the bread a slight slice down the center. And apply more of that melted butter. Now we've got the bread buttered. Let's put it in our preheated oven and let it bake for 45 or 35 minutes. And I'll be back when it's finished. Okay, I just took the bread out of the oven, and the crust feels a little bit on the hard side. So I'm going to try something else that I was told would help. And that is to cover it. While it cools. Need something to hold it down. Supposedly, that helps the moisture keep from evaporating from the bread and helps to soften the crust. So we'll see what happens, and I'll be back. Okay, the loaf has been cooling off for about a half an hour, and there is some moisture. It does feel a little softer. So I'm going to put it on a plate and cover it with a piece of plastic wrap. And let's cover the whole thing in plastic. seal that in, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to cool down some more. And I'll be back when it's done. Okay, the bread's been in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes, and I just can't wait any longer. So I'm going to give it a taste. And I'm going to say putting butter on it before baking it, and then wrapping it when it first comes out of the oven with the parchment paper. Then wrapping it with plastic wrap helped a lot on how the crust is. And it has good flavor, so I'm going to say this is a success. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye.